I thought from a team standpoint, you know, it just kind of reminds me of, you know, when you get your season started, finding the rhythm of how you want to wrestle, take some matches. It just seemed like we struggled a little bit with some sort of rhythm, and give credit to Wyoming. I thought Branch had his team ready to fight, and they did fight, you know, and so with that comes a few of them where they just were kind of satisfied to get a win, you know, rather than trying to stretch scores out and continuing to develop their offense through each one of these matches. So I thought Carter Young actually wrestled a pretty good match. Kid's not bad. I think that you know, with Carter, you know, you got to finish one of two of those single legs. So he was in deep on two of those single legs on the edge of the mat. He was running out of real estate there, and just learning how to finish in those positions are real critical, as you saw. You know, that really was the difference in him having a chance to win that match or tying it up or losing it. You know, and so he didn't, neither one of those shots he got, he finished, and the outcome was losing a close, tight match. So a lot better. Carter was a lot better this week than his loss last week, and I can live with it. I thought he was aggressive. I thought he was trying to, you know, find ways to put points up, but just wasn't enough. You know, I thought he was in a position a couple times on top where he exposed his opponent. Unfortunately, I don't think the official was in position to score a 2-point near fall. You know, but it's the way it goes sometimes. You got to be able to overcome that. And for him, though, I feel like he moved forward this week in training.
Coach, on that note, Carter Young with 3 escapes from bottom. Carter Young with 3 escapes from bottom. What does it say about his development on that position? Because I mean, it was a weakness with him last year.
Yeah, and it's still something he's going to have to continue to work. I mean, he hasn't hit the better guys that on top, and just slowly build your confidence. You know, take each match and continue to develop and move forward. And I think for him, I don't think he started his season like he wanted. I think he had high hopes. I think he would come into this season like, I'm getting ready to go attack a championship, and here he finds himself with a losing record after 3 matches. You know, you know, and what do? You just, hey, you keep doing what you're doing. He's working hard. He's coming to practice. He's focusing on the right things. He just needs to continue to focus on changing his environment a little bit and work towards the process of finding ways to win close matches if you have to, finding ways to stretch scores out.
Go ahead.
A lot of riding time tonight. Was that a point of emphasis coming in, or is that just kind of how?
You know, I think when you see a lot of riding time like that, six matches, they're focused on winning, and I'm okay with that for now. You know, we had some matches, you know, that I thought we would get major decisions that we didn't. You know, and looking at the scores, 2-0 and at 25, 6-0 at 49, 57. I think G Feller just gave us what he had. You know, this G Feller didn't get a takedown in the match, and he wins 6-3. That's hard to do with riding time. You don't see that very often. So had to find ways to win the match, right? I thought Sheets did a nice job. You know, I think you see the difference in size a little bit. I mean, that guy looked big, you know. And I think Wyatt, you know, made some adjustments in the second. After the escape from Moody, Wyatt took him down with a high crotch, dumped him, and you know, a couple those counts below the hips. You know, it's just hopefully these guys. You know, I was surprised that they went back on film and turned that around and gave a stalling call. You don't see that very often. you know, where official makes the call, no call, comes back and looks at the film and says, okay, he was down below the hips, and I'm gonna give the stalling call, and gave a point. I haven't seen that very often, but White did a nice job recovering and winning that match. Plot, I think, like we said earlier, he's not wrestling at the pace that his mind's wrestling. I think that comes in time.
What'd you think of Server's impressive fall in his match?
Good. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's kind of I'm not sure what, you know, I think that's what you hope to see when you're wrestling somebody that's moving up a weight in at 84, and maybe tight with the 84-pounder, and you know, and you know, back up, right? That's what you hope to see, right?
Yeah, Coach, I was just curious. Did they do that because they didn't weigh in anyone at 97? Is that what caused them to move them up?
Yeah.
Okay. And then going back, what did you see from Trevor in his match? I know Jor Volk, world champion,
You know, I saw Trevor lose a lot of matches, you know, in those tight battles where not a lot of action, and through his 3 matches that he's had, he's won 2 of them. You know, I'm hoping that he'll come out of that and wrestle the way he trains, and I think, you know, we got time, you know, but I do think, you know, when you find yourself locking up a little bit in matches, you still got to learn how to win, you know, and it's important he's picking up those wins while he's maybe not wrestling, you know, like he wants to. And now the kid's a pretty good kid, right? The kid's a world champion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, give the kid credit. You don't go win a world champion and not be good. You know, so Trevor, you beat a world champion.
What about Trevor specifically with that third period ride? I mean, you talk about extending scores. I know it's just 1 point, but I mean that seems like it's a heck of a way to do it.
Well, I think it's a matter of like, okay, I'm not going to let him go because I'm going to end it here, you know, in the next 2 minutes. So, you know, you make that choice, and you're stubborn with what you give him, and I thought he did a nice job on a couple of returns. I thought he did a nice job of keeping pressure forward on him. Stayed out of some rolls, stayed out of a little bit, and ended up with a solid third period ride.
In terms of team score, you guys are 89-15 over these 3 dual meets, and 25-5 in terms of matches. Much like last year, you guys got off to a really good start over the first 3 matches. Just kind of reflecting on last year's season, what are some differences and maybe even positives from this year's first 3 matches compared to last year's?
Well, the big difference is we have a team that really has to really work hard. I mean, there's no room for, you know, there's no room for somebody not competing hard and competing well. You know, it just, I said it from the very beginning, for us to win, we got to be really competitive. And as we saw, you know, I mean, you look at these scores, 4-3, 2-0, 6-0, 6-3, 6-2, 8-2, 5-2. That's what we have right now, until we develop a little bit more confidence and hopefully move in a direction where we start getting in a kind of a rhythm of how we want to wrestle.
Coach, going back, I know on Tuesday night in your radio show, you said that you wouldn't put Sheets at 65 anymore for the rest of the season.
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I must have misread the tweet then. So what's the plan for him then? Is it to keep him at 65?
No, my plan is and Wyatt's plan is to move down.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually move to 57. I just think that he's come back for a 6th year. I think stay big and strong, healthy. You know, although you're wrestling bigger guys, you know, I just feel like it's the best thing for us right now. And I do think you're going to see you're gonna see, I think, in the future, you're gonna see several guys competing. I think it's at a few different weights, you know, so, I think what you misunderstood was my plan was that he will not be at 65.
Oh, I see.
Much longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Looking at just my last one, the heavyweights with Whitlake and Doucette, what have you seen from them kind of wrestling, not at new weights with Doucette being a heavyweight, but Whitlake also at 84 now?
Whitlake, he's really a skillful, talented guy. We just need to keep weight on him, keep him strong. He's got he hit some really nice shots today. Some things that you don't see a lot of times out of 84 pounders. Low single leg dumping. You saw some things that was exciting to watch. I think that the one thing for him that he needs to recognize is that he's strong enough to go with anyone. He's size-wise, he's strong enough, But you're going to feel some things, I think, in the future that maybe you didn't feel at 165, and I think really for him the key is that out-condition people. Make sure you're in better shape, and make sure you're working towards getting in better shape and utilizing your speed and your quickness coming from 65 up to 84. Doucette, I think Doucette's just learning how to win, guys. I mean, this is, I think we get a little bit frustrated, wanting to see him do a little bit more on his feet, but right now he's working hard. He's doing the things that we want him to do in practice. Just needs to keep doing them, and hopefully through being really consistent in what you're doing in practice, hopefully we'll see his confidence grow, that he can do certain things, So I think he's still learning how to win right now, and he's winning.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.